All right, guys, I'll give you a little look inside of a classroom. We have a singer right here. She thinks she's the next Katy Perry, I guess, or whoever is singing. We're doing some writing. And I am in the way. I just stood up, so now I'm in the way. Hey. Shh. And over here we have other students who are writing. Right, Betty? Right. Writing. Very good. Let's see what you're writing. Very good. Your handwriting is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are they writing, you might ask? Well, we have, of course, the alphabet. Every classroom has to write the alphabet. And today we've been going over positive and negative responses, as you can see there. Yes, yes, yes. So this classroom here is a combined preschool and kindergarten class. You can see many drawings and things on the wall. Give you a little overview. But yeah, some people get a little nervous about teaching, especially if they've never done it before, and I understand that. Trust me, I do. But it's all okay. They're all good students. They get on a little sugar rush once in a while. We have to calm things down, but overall they're great students, and they actually want to learn. So just go in there and do your thing, get your style down, and make it happen. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Don't try to be shy, Batty. We know better than that. Talk to you guys later. All right, guys, that was just a little bit of my classroom there. Only a few students today, so I decided to take some video while they were supposed to be practicing their writing. That one little girl, she likes to sing while she writes, but at least she's doing the work. So I don't really mind, of course. It's important when you're teaching, I think, to have fun. It's not just about having them buckle down. They know how far they can push. I've had them before. They know where to draw the line. And so we have a good relationship with each other. The biggest thing I get in my messages from Fast Track English, my company, not the school you just saw. I have my own English classes. It's called Fast Track English. You can see the links below if you want to check it out. The biggest question I get in Messenger is simply this. And I have to sometimes decipher the words, of course, because they're trying to write in English, but of course, a lot of them don't know enough about English to the point where I can understand it. I have to read it a few times and interpret some words. But basically what they're saying is this: I have a child, or I have two children. Can you please help us? We don't know. We want them to learn English. They want to learn English. They've never been to school. They speak a little English now, but we really want them to learn. And can you recommend a place or give us any ideas of where we could do that for maybe $5 or $10 a month, which is all we can afford? And of course I can't, because although there are NGOs, nonprofits, in the outer lying areas, in the more rural parts of the city and the country, who provide sometimes free schools. Those schools are mainly specific for people who live in that village, the children who live in the village, because that's who they're trying to help. They can't just take anybody who wants to come in and learn for free, of course. They're charities, but still they have to maintain a certain amount of money every month to be profitable, so they can't just take everybody. And I don't know any other schools in town, to be honest, because they're all for profit here, that would do it for that amount of money. And of course, as much as I would like to tell them, yes, bring them over and I will teach them for, $5 or $10 a month, that would not make financial sense from the business standpoint, because then that would leave space unavailable for somebody who might be able to pay the full monthly amount. Now, I don't charge that much. It's about average with, and less even than some international schools. It's I have classes that run 2 days a week, 1.5 hours each day, and those are just $25 a month. And then the standard English classes are 5 days a week, 1 hour each day, Monday through Friday. Of course, in both classes, it's the same material. All the materials are provided, the training sheets, worksheets, conversations we use, so they can take it home and practice. Hello. And that's only $40 a month, which only equals $2 an hour. That's all I'm charging, is $2 an hour for English lessons. And they're good English lessons. One thing I can say is that I'm a good teacher. I'm not good at a lot of things, most things maybe, but that's one thing I'm good at. But still, you got to remember, in Cambodia, the average monthly income is $100 to $120 a month, and this is full-time job, 6 days a week, sometimes 1 day off. If you're making like $150 or more, you're considered okay. Anything more than $200 and you're like really well off. That's just the economics. But people who don't have higher paying jobs simply can't afford to spend $40 a month per child on an education. It's not that they don't want to, it's just that, I mean, financially it is literally impossible for them to do so with what they make. Even one child, you're asking somebody to take half or maybe almost half of their monthly salary, and then how's the family supposed to live when they're barely getting by now? And I feel for them, I really, really do. So I thought, well, what can I do about it where it's not going to hurt me financially, but also have a chance to help some people out? So I decided to start a Patreon page, and I know a lot of you are going to hear that word Patreon and you might turn out automatically, you might turn it off because you're thinking of every YouTuber on the planet who starts a Patreon. They're started because they feel that people that like their content will contribute to them monthly so that they can keep creating and keep doing what they're doing. I've never been that I've never been that vain. I don't think anybody wants to pay for me every month to keep continuing. I know if I made it a subscription-based service, I would probably lose out really quick, and I understand that, and I'm not going to change anything about this channel. I'm not going to get fancy equipment. I'm not going to make a lot of edits, nothing like that. The channel stays the same. This has nothing to do with me or this channel, just to be clear. But the Patreon page is for the school. I call it a Patreon for education. And what I'm asking people to do is be sponsors for people here who have children, or even for themselves and can't afford to send them to school. And the way it works is really simple. I have 4 tiers, different donation options on my Patreon page, and each one is targeted to a specific thing having to do with the school, with Fast Track English. I got a $5 tier. And by the way, the links are all below, and if you want to just go check them out now, everything I'm about to say will be on that page. But this might be for people who don't want to click that extra link. The $5 tier I call supply drop. Basically, you have a business, no matter how big or small it is, you need supplies. We need markers, paper. I had to print 3 or 4 different things every day, depending on, for the different classes and levels and where they're at. So printing costs, like I said, papers, pens, paper, or pencils, notebooks, markers. I'm going to need a new whiteboard soon. Things of that nature. Those are just typical expenses in a business like this, right? Now that one has no limits on how many people can join. And all the money that I get under that will be used just for the supplies. Then I have a $10 tier. This is for a Khmer teaching assistant. Now I have Sengalai helping me, of course. She's there, but she doesn't know enough English to translate well. So if a student has a question, they don't understand a word, every day I give them word lists at the end of each lesson, different words in English and what they mean. And a lot of times I'll have to spend time either going to Google Translate or getting an image from Google, looking it up so they can see a picture so they know what the word means. And Sengalai's not at the level where she knows the words enough to say it in Khmer. So my $10 level is only going to be for 12 people. And what that will do is I will hire a Khmer assistant who speaks English and Khmer, who can help me in the classroom with translations. Any questions the students might have that they don't know how to ask in English. When we do the word list, she can help give them the Khmer translation so they understand what it is. And if I have to tell them something that they're not quite getting, she or he can interpret it for me as well. And 12 people, $10 a month, $120 a month is what I want to pay this person for my classes. Now the last two tiers are probably the most important and the main reason I started it, $25 a month and $40 a month, because that is how much I charge for my 2-a-day and 5 days a week classes. And everybody that joins those tiers becomes an official sponsor of a person here. As soon as I get a Patreon for those two tiers, I will have somebody who wants to learn English, has the ability to learn English but can't afford to. I will have them in my class the very next day, depending on if they want the morning, afternoon, or evening. Very next day. So you'll have your own person that you're sponsoring for every one of those two tiers, everybody that donates to one of those two tiers. Now this isn't like sponsoring a needy child, for 25 cents a day or whatever. You don't get to pick if it's a boy or a girl. You don't get to pick if it's, how old they are. Because we just have people from all walks of life, all ages that want to learn. And we're just going to go down a list. I have a list of people in my messenger that have told me how bad they want to learn and just can't afford it. And we'll just start looking through there, asking some qualifying questions to make sure they can't actually afford it. And then we'll pick one of those, and you will be their sponsor. So every month that you continue to be a patron, they will receive that 1 month of English classes free of charge to them. And these are regular English classes. This is not a watered down version because they couldn't afford it. This is the whole thing. Supplies included, materials included, all that stuff. All they have to do is show up every day at their times and be ready to learn. That's it. And I'm limiting those to 20 people per tier. I need 20 people to be in the $25 tier and 20 people to be in the $40 tier, because until I move into a bigger building, that's the maximum amount of people I'll be able to handle anyway. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you don't, but I'm asking you to consider it. Click the link below and check out my Patreon page, and you can get more information. I'll give updates. As far as the perks you get, because I know all these places give out different perks. Well, first of all, you'll know the name of the person you're sponsoring. You'll get a, I'll email you a picture, but I'll also email you a code. I have a Facebook group that is exclusively for students of Fast Track English and sponsors of students in Fast Track English. On this Facebook group, well, first of all, I will send you a code, one-time use code, along with telling you how to find the group. When you ask to join, it's going to prompt you to enter the code, and that's all you do. You enter the code, and boom, if it matches one of them codes that is currently open, then I know it's you. That code's no good anymore, and you're a member. And on there, I'll be posting updates on the students you sponsor. Okay, as often as I can. I'll say, this is students Ichin. She was sponsored by, Don B or Bill W or, whatever you want me to call you. And you'll be able to see videos, pictures, and of course, I'll write a lot about their progress so you can see that your donation is actually making a difference, how their English is improving over time, and all that good stuff. Oh, hang on, I got something in my... Oh no, fire ant got me. Yeah. That's what I get for being in the dirt, I guess. Ow! Yeah. They're all over, man. Yeah. Oh. I think I found the fire ant hole. Anyway. But also, all the students get access if they have the internet or a way to access it. They also get a code, one-time use. If they're a student, what we do is we'll be posting additional mini lessons of things we might not cover in class, or if somebody's not getting something, we'll post an update and try to explain it better for them, or in another way for them that we didn't have time to do in our regular class. But all these lessons are included at them at no extra cost. So they get more lessons through the group for free. Plus they have access to me all the time. I tell them all the time, all my students, if you're out and about and you hear something you don't understand, you hear a word, you read a word you don't understand, or you forgot how to say something to somebody, give it to me in class the next day and we'll work on it. But this way they don't have to wait for that. They can just pop on over to the Facebook page and say, hey, Teacher Dave, I forgot what this word means, or how to say this word. And I'll answer them as soon as possible. Hopefully just within a minute or two, as much as I can. When I'm not teaching, of course. And yeah, so they'll have access to all that additional information, additional lessons, and everything for free. No extra charge. And plus, it would be a good way for you, like I said, to see how your donations are actually helping people. So that is my plan. Like I said, all the links for everything are down below. My Fast Track English Facebook page, my Fast Track English website, my Patreon page, all down below. I'm asking you to just check it out, look it over, and consider it. Now, I'm not going to run on and on and on about this on my channel. My channel is going to be exactly what it was before. I just wanted to make this video to get the word out, and maybe I'll mention it a couple times at the end of other videos, hey, and don't forget to check out my Patreon page. But I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not going to spam you with it. Nothing like that, just to be clear. All right. I think I rambled enough. But hopefully, even if you can't donate, you can share that link around to my Patreon page where it explains it all the way I just explained it to you. It's written down there. People can go, look, see the situation, and of course ask me questions if they have any. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as best I can. All right. I will talk to you guys in the next one.